Me doing war videos? What's going on? But yeah, war videos are back, but unlike the other war videos where it's just like War 1, War 2, I'm gonna try to make it more themed. And today's theme is a story of two Summoner Choice champions. And I like this story because this is the two Summoner Choice champions that actually have something to prove. And I'm of course talking about Gladiator and Quicksilver here. And right here we have path 3, and this is by far Gladiator's best path because if he's awakened, he shuts off any armor up effect if he has a vigilance active, and with a power star 1 boost and the awakened ability, he pretty much has the vigilance buff active at all times, so Captain America Sam Wilson here is just shut down for the entire fight. So that means that path 3 doesn't ever trigger, and we don't have to see any shock effects, any bleed debuffs, so it is just a very nice time for Gladiator here. And yeah, here I drop the SP2 and we get a nice 25,000 crit, and that was just a very controlled fight there by Gladiator. But now let's go to another Gladiator fight. Here we have this Hulkbuster on path 3, section 1. Now this one isn't really too tough for Gladiator, there isn't really a need to put a power start 1 boost on, since this fight it's all about power burn and Gladiator is immune to it, so he is just not going to struggle here at all. However, there is special lock which can kind of mess up Gladiator but also not really, so this fight is kind of whatever. And Hulkbuster here is a tactic champion, and this tactic is called, I think, House of Mirrors. And what this tactic does is it gives a defender this alternating passive effect, right? And it's between auto block and evade, and with the attack tactic you gain these skith charges, and these charges actually help bypass auto block and evade, so it's honestly very straightforward. It's just the beginning of the fight that can be pretty tough for most characters, but with Gladiator and the amount of buffs he gains, since these skith charges are based on your buff gain and also your combo count, with Gladiator gaining 2 confidence on the heavy attack and 1 confidence per hit, he honestly is a very good option for the attack tactic. But now we have the second Summoner Choice champion here. We have Quicksilver. Now Quicksilver is a new 7-star, and he is honestly doing really good things already, and I think that Quicksilver honestly deserves a bigger spotlight, since I think when it comes to utility, this man is still very powerful. And yeah, here we drop the SP1 and he's already slowed, so Dr. Doom is just shut off completely, and now this fight is a whole nothing burger, since yeah, he can't do anything anymore. The aura of Hazareth is now removed, so that means Dr. Doom is not a threat in the slightest, but he is being a bit stingy with that SP1, but he finally throws it there, and now it's time to just end the fight by dropping the SP2 in a second. So yeah, Quicksilver with these type of health pools is honestly very straightforward, since it's kind of just SP2 and the game is just won at that point. Check this out, we're gonna go in here, he's gonna drop the SP1 in a second, I hope anyway. Yeah, there he drops it, we get the dex, and then we do the early detonation into the SP2, and yeah, it just one-shots Dr. Doom. So that was a very fun fight, and Quicksilver is just a reliable character like that. And yeah, he was, good for that fight, but it's for the fight after this that Quicksilver has to take that he is just really good for. But first up, some more Gladiator fights. Now this one is a very interesting one, and it is not normal Gladiator gameplay, okay? Because with path 3, you have to rush to the SP2, because if you don't get to the SP2 in time, you are just done for. So yeah, we have to just go in, we're not building up any confidence, we're just gonna drop the SP2 ASAP. And yeah, here we drop it. The incinerate damage is still very good, but yeah, no confidence has been built yet, and that's fine, because what's more important in this fight is the fact that the vigilance is active. And you know what happens here? I just never drop a single, I never gain a single confidence. That's kind of crazy for a Gladiator fight, but you know what? It got the job done, and it was still 30 seconds, so we are just absolutely chilling. I do wish that I had some more fights where I could actually, play him normally, because path 3 you just cannot. You have to be really aggressive, and Gladiator with his main rotation, it's about hitting block, which is not really aggressive because you don't gain any power. So it's it's kind of annoying in that regard. Like, if he gained power whenever striking the opponent's block, that would be so helpful, but I feel like it'd also be a bit too good, so it's kind of just like whatever. And yeah, here I hit the block because Sam Wilson cannot gain armor ups whenever he is blocking, so yeah, that's honestly pretty helpful for this fight. And now I drop the SP2 in a second, and yeah, now the fight is just, it's just done. Like, we have the advantage, and we can actually build some confidence here since we'll be unblockable after the heavy attack. So yeah, we are just looking really good in this fight. We can actually play him normally now, which is really helpful. And yeah, here he drops the SP1 in a second, and yeah, the burst damage is massive. It is really massive, and that fight is just wrapped up really quickly. So another path 3 just in the books, and now we have this destroyer fight. Now this is the main event for Quicksilver. This is a beefy and quite scary destroyer. He has over 500,000 health. He is a rank 3 7-star. So Quicksilver is punching up here, but you know what? Quicksilver loves to do that. In fact, I think Quicksilver honestly prefers it. So this is aspect of evolution and improved power gain. So what this does is he gains more power, and as he gains like bars of power, he becomes more tanky and honestly just more dangerous because he also gains like block penetration and things like that. So yeah, it's very scary, and honestly, if he builds up too much power, I might be screwed. However, Quicksilver can honestly neutralize anyone on this node since his withers reverse any power gain, and when you stack up like 6 of these withers, the power gain reversal is honestly really strong. So Destroyer, what makes him tough is he gains destruction charges on the SP1, and once he gets 100 of those, he gets this massive power gain, and then the SP3 kind of just one-shots you, especially on this node. So yeah, it is a very dangerous mechanic. However, with Quicksilver here, he reverses the power gain. Like right here, he is not gaining any power, and he is losing power rapidly. So yeah, he is just perfect for this fight, and now it's time to just end the fight right here. So we're gonna go in, drop a combo, and it is time to drop the SP2, and with the power back boost, we're back to another SP1 just like that. And so we drop the SP1 for the increased attack rating, and it one-shots the destroyer. So that fight was just incredible. He just totally destroyed that destroyer, and that is the end of Quicksilver's chapter. But now it's time for Gladiator again. Now we have this path 3 Sam Wilson just on a different node, and yeah, it's going to be the same thing. He's going to just, you know, shut off his armor ups initially, but once we get to the SP2, it is just completely game over. But something goes wrong here because I actually miss a lot of parries, and that means my vigilance doesn't even get me to 2 bars of power. So I have to do this strat where I just spam parry, and it is a good source of power for sure, and it saves me in this fight because yeah, if I didn't have that like source of power, I would have been completely done for. So yeah, thankfully that works very well, and now the fight is back to normal, and it is time to end it because yeah, this has been too stressful already. But this fight is just not going my way. Like, he's even backing off whenever I'm trying to get like some more confidence built up, and the vigilance is almost out of duration already, so I am just trying to push my SP2 ASAP. And yeah, we get to it thankfully, and here he drops the SP2 while intimidated, by the way, so that's just amazing. But then I drop my own SP2, and yeah, it does very good damage, and the incinerates just do the work, and there we go. A very 50-50 fight for sure, but Gladiator got the job done, so it is what it is. But now we have what I think is the scariest fight in this video. We have a rank 3 Domino, and this Domino is SIG 110, so it is a beefy Domino. It is a very beefy Domino, but Gladiator is actually a really decent Domino counter. So let's just see how this fight goes. And yeah, I am just a bit nervous here, obviously, but here's how Gladiator works for this fight. So fight starts, gotta get the first parry going, which we do, and as you can see, the confidence buffs cannot fail, since Gladiator has a base ability accuracy of about 200%, so his buffs just cannot fail, like via Domino doing Domino things. However, there's one thing that can fail. There's actually like a lot of things. It's like the burst damage, it is the intimidate even. So yeah, it's not like a completely safe fight, but for a Domino counter, he is one of the better ones. So yeah, I'll take it, man. Like, especially because if you can do Gladiator with Domino, it makes planning easier because it does save a spot on the team, and you can just Gladiator the entire path 3, for example. So yeah, here we go in, we drop the SP2, we get the Incinerates up thankfully, and we also get some nice crits there, or just one crit actually, but yeah, now we get some extra burst damage going, and this fight is pretty much over now. I dropped the SP1, and that is that. Yeah, 20,000 crit there too. And while this chapter is concluded, Gladiator's story is far from over, because with Mole Man being banned all the time now, I think Gladiator is going to be my main attacker this season, and we're going to join Gladiator on this journey. And it started with a visit to a fellow Summoner's Choice champion, but who knows where he ends up next. So let me know your thoughts on this war video, and yeah, that's about it for me.